Proverbs 29, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. So that would seem to endorse the use of corporal punishment. I am aware, somebody mentioned American Pediatrics thinks that it's a bad thing. I beg to differ, and I have a greater authority.
American Pediatrics or the Old Testament in the Bible? I'm gonna go with the Old Testament in the Bible to provide cover for educators who use corporal punishment on special needs kids. That is what he was speaking out against. Who's he? Well, he's Republican State Representative Jim Olson from Oklahoma, who again decided to cite the Bible in an effort to defend the use of corporal punishment on special needs children. Now, Olson made the argument in response to an Oklahoma state bill that would ban the use of corporal punishment on special needs kids specifically. I would venture to say that no one should put their hands on any kid, okay? You shouldn't have a law or you shouldn't have policies that protect individuals who want to hit kids. But in this case, it wasn't even that broad. It was specifically in regard to special needs children in the school system in Oklahoma. Now, before we watch more horrifying video or horrifying arguments from Olson, let's actually do some background on corporal punishment, the bill, and why the law was introduced. The bill was actually introduced by a Republican, so not all Republicans are awful, like Olson, I guess. And some GOP members did in fact vote in favor of this measure, again, to ensure that there is a law preventing educators from using corporal punishment on special needs kids. This bill in Oklahoma would not have prevented parents, for instance, from choosing how to discipline their kids or ban corporal punishment for all students, just the special needs kids. The bill defined corporal punishment as the deliberate infliction of physical pain by hitting, paddling, spanking, slapping, or any other physical force used as a means of discipline. Can I just pause for a second and say, where are the parents, right? All of those loony parents who show up at school board meetings to cry about children's books on penguins. Where are they when it comes to educators being allowed to slap their kids? Are they cool with that? I don't know. I mean, if someone touched any child in my family, I'd strangle them. Okay, not condoning violence, except I kind of am if you touch anyone in my family. But nonetheless, the final vote for the measure, House Bill 1028, garnered 45 votes of support while 43 voted against it. Despite that slight edge in yays, 51 votes are needed to advance bills. All 43 votes against the bill were cast by Republicans. It's unbelievable, except I don't know, it's Oklahoma, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, I was watching another video with them, debating this bill, and another Republican asks, I guess it's he's asking the Republican who presented this bill. He's like, well, okay, so it's just teachers, I guess, who can't do this, and the guy's like, yeah, it's just teachers, and then he's like, so I could come down there and I could beat my kid, and it's like, yeah, you could come to the school and so it's like, I cannot believe this. It's it's hard to square the same people who are worried about there might be a book with a same-sex couple in the library that the kids will never read with beating disabled kids. That's not sure about that one. It's a little chaotic, It's
insane and it's incredibly cruel. And yeah, I mean, yes, we're literally talking about allowing teachers to hit disabled kids. Now look, there's one piece of good news because I mean, this is so incredibly disgusting and abusive. Luckily, the school system in Oklahoma, they have their own rules on this. And so the rules that they've implemented prevents educators from carrying out corporal punishment against special needs kids. But it's not codified through state law, which is why why the issue came up. And earlier this year, the bill's sponsor, which he is a Republican, John Talley, he says that he introduced the bill after a constituent raised the issue to him. So he looked into it and he found that just over the last 2 years, we've had 63 school districts, 455 times. There has been a special needs student that has had corporal punishment used against them in the state of Oklahoma. I just think a special needs student does not need to deal with that pain, because I think they would be wondering, why is this happening to me? Yeah, I mean, and also it's abusive. It's obviously abusive and it's wrong. And so obviously, while the schools might have that policy in place, people do slip through the cracks. There are instances of special needs kids who are being literally hit by educators. But I do want to go back to hear what Olson thinks. So why don't we replay the cold open? Why don't we replay what he says? Because then I want to go to what Tally said in response to him.
Proverbs 29, the rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. So that would seem to endorse the use of corporal punishment. I am aware, somebody mentioned American Pediatrics thinks that it's a bad thing. I beg to differ, and I have a greater authority.
So the state representative who introduced the bill responded to that, and I think his response is accurate. Why don't we follow all the other Old Testament laws? There's about 4,000 of them, and one of them is to not allow wives to wear jewelry or stone your child if they're disobedient. Why don't we do that? Because we pick and choose what we want to follow. And finally, and unfortunately, corporal punishment is a nationwide issue. In the most recent data released by the US Department of Education from 2017 to 2018, students with disabilities served under the Individuals with Disabilities Act were around 13% of enrollment nationwide, but 16.5% of the students who received corporal punishment, meaning they are severely overrepresented in the number of students who are hit by educators. It's just so incredibly gross.
I mean, I'm with you on this one. This should be a no-brainer, but I guess there's more debate for this one in Oklahoma. It's pretty shocking. Yeah, I can't believe this.
At least I'm sure every Republican is in agreement that drag shows very bad. Got to protect the kids. I mean, let's beat the kids. Yeah. Let's beat the kids. Yeah. Am I right? Especially the special needs kids. Like, they can really get out of line. But at least we're protecting them from drag shows. So think about it.
Absolutely. Focusing on the real, important stuff. Absolutely.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. I really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.